And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win. And this week's Who Would Win, or today's Who Would Win, comes to us from Weebweb, who asked the question, who would win in a fight, Trunks or Cable? Two time travelers in their own respective franchises. Who comes out on top if these two were to time travel into each other and fight? Well, actually, if they were to time travel into each other, they'd probably break a space-time continuum, and why do I smell copper? Yeah. So, Trunks... I have Cable's things right here. Trunks I can do pretty much off the top of my head. Trunks is the son of Vegeta and Bulma. He is half Saiyan. He has access to pretty much any ability that a Saiyan human hybrid does. He actually has more. It's theorized human Saiyan hybrids have more potential than their pureblood Saiyan counterparts. Come on, there we go. And sorry, I'm just changing the station real quick because I hate the Big Bang Theory. There we go. So, everyone says Trunks was raised in basically a post-apocalyptic future where androids have pretty much killed all the Z fighters. Minus him and Gohan. Gohan died. He gets Super Saiyan and all that. He is an expert martial artist, though. He's probably on the weaker side in terms of actual fighting skill than, say, most of the Z fighters. Vegeta, Goku, easy. Piccolo, easy. Gohan, I'd argue he's not as good a fighter as Gohan. Probably even not as good a fighter as Tien or Krillin. Yamcha, he's better at a fighter than I'll say Yamcha. Because when you really break it down, he's a bit more of a... He was never formally trained except by Gohan more than anything else. So, I mean, yeah, he trained with Vegeta, but that's not the same thing. So, he's a bit more... And he does have, like, form and technique, but he is a bit more of a brawler. But he's still an expert hand-to-hand fighter, as are all the characters in Dragon Ball Z who are actual fighters. He's capable of flight, supersonic speeds, faster than light travel, really, because he can disappear in an instant like most of the Z fighters can. Pumping that up to the extreme when you go to higher forms of power. He wields a sword. I can't remember where they say he got the sword from. Some say it's the Z sword. Some say he got that from, oh god. What's that guy's name? From Wrath of the Dragon. Tamarine? No, that's not it. Tapion? That was Tapion. That was his name. You got it from Tapion. Point being, it's a very durable weapon, too. It's shown that it has broken before, but it's a pretty durable weapon. And he's pretty good with it, too. He's capable of energy blast. I think it's Buster Cannon. The name that's the thing where it does the things and then just like that and then blast. Buster Cannon. It's an energy blast. What are you going to do? He has access to Super Saiyan 2, and kind of a Berserker Saiyan form. It's never really shown what that was, but it's kind of a Berserker Rage mode that he had in Super that allowed him to at least go toe-to-toe with Goku Black for a little bit, who was God tier in that universe. He wasn't really, I doubt he could have beat Beerus or any God of Destruction, but he was God tier. In terms of his destructive power, Trunks has definitely planetary destructive power, probably star level, maybe even solar system level. Like, he could systematically destroy a solar system if he wanted to. He does not have galactic or universal level power, though. He's nowhere near that strong. But he does have... Nor does he have a technique that would really destroy a galaxy or a universe. But he is fairly powerful. Definitely Trunks is a strong fighter in Dragon Ball Z. If we were talking about the strongest Z fighters, though, I mean, Gohan's stronger than him, Vegeta's stronger than him, Goku's stronger than him. I might argue 17's stronger than him, honestly. So he's not, like, top tier. He's, like, not the best of the best. But he's a competent, strong fighter. Cable, or Nathan Summers, is the son of Scott Summers from the future. They can see the future. Now, his main mutant ability actually is telepathy and telekinesis. However, it's been nerfed on a great deal because he is infected with something called the Legacy virus. I believe it's or was it a Techno-Organic? I can't remember exactly. 1 second. Techno-Organic virus. Sorry, Legacy virus is a different thing, which pretty much turns you and turns your organic materials into robotic parts. Has to consciously, with his powers, keep that at bay from spreading on his body, and because of that, his powers are kind of nerfed. However, when he is able to access his powers, and for this we'll obviously give him access to at least some of his powers, or at least a solid amount, he's considered one of, at least in his timeline, one of the strongest psionics ever, like a psionic of the highest order, Omega level, which is as high as you go, like someone who can infect things not just on a planetary level, but beyond that. Excuse me. He has all the abilities that would attribute to that. He has telepathy, telepathic illusions, mind link someone's mind with each other, camouflage, protect from other psychics, wouldn't matter in this case, telepathic cloaking, mind control, mind trap someone's mind in their body, effectively trapping them their mind within their own body. Amnesia, mind alteration, possession, precognition. He had that ability, or has that. Psionic shield, psionic blast, astral projection, mental detection, telekinesis. There's no known limit to his power. We've never seen the actual limits of power, but he's known to lift vast amount of things with just his mind. Intuitive aptitude, can disassemble complex devices explosively, separating every last component, such as screws, nuts, and circular boards, and easily reassemble them. Matter alteration, able to alter molecules and subatomic structures, both his own techno-organic components and the very chemical valence objects. Both in his own techno-organic components, so this may be a function of telekinesis, blah, 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 and the vast chemical, or the very chemical valence, I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know the word, valences, and objects, changing food into poison, will be oxygen molecules to cause asphyxiation, and transforming a man into a hideous man-bat, or even changing dermal layer of another's hands into glowing algae. The hell. Now, I don't know if this is something that he can do by touching someone, or if he doesn't need to do that. I'd have to guess he'd have to touch someone. Several times, Cable has shown the ability to disintegrate objects by dissolving their atoms, by dissolving their atomic and molecular bonds. Psionic spikes. Size alteration. How the hell does he do that with telekinesis? After he has used his telekinesis to alter his physical stature to that of a towering giant similar to Apocalypse. How the hell does that work? I'm going to use my mind to physically turn my body. My body's ripping apart! Oh, this is a mistake! How does that work? Look, I get it. With your mind, and I'm stopping right here because this makes no fucking sense to me. With Apocalypse, he's actually able to alter his size due to molecular manipulation on his own. He's actually able to control his body that way. I get that. That does not make sense. He has used his telekinesis to alter his physical stature? The only way I can see that is because of his psychic ability to alter, to form matter alteration. I think he has some molecular manipulation. Maybe that's how it happens? But through just straight telekinesis, that's not how that works. And I'm saying that from someone talking about, well, it's a common book. Maybe it can work. No, from the way you define telekinesis, that's not how that works. But given the fact they talked about matter alteration, I think I'll let that slide in terms of an explanation. But that's stupid otherwise. Telekinetic healing. At the peak of his powers as Soldier X, he showcased vast biological capabilities such as regenerating himself, healing others. However, that I know has been taken away. Like after getting shot in the head twice as well, healing his body after getting cut through by a semi-automatic gunfire. I know those powers have been. He doesn't have a regeneration anymore. He's not on the same level. Force fields. He can create concussive blast, tactile telekinesis. Capable of using telekinesis to enhance his already impressive physical practices and superhuman levels enough to force a reversion of the Hulk to one of his many personas with one blow. Telekinetic flight. Great. Telekinetic teleportation. Remote teleportation. Time travel. He can actually displace himself using chronal energies. Comic books. Could apparently travel in the astral form. Cable is able to has the ability. He's used this ability once with assistance, and may no longer be capable of doing this. Okay, if that's the case, we can't use the time travel. If we don't know if he's still capable of doing it, we can't just assume he can do it. Techno-organic physiology. He's got super enhanced strength because of his arm. He's already in shape. Enhanced endurance. He could take enhanced endurance, allowing him to take hits from the Hulk. Super speed. He is faster than the average person, particularly if he's flying with his telekinesis. Cybernetic eye can see deep into the electromagnetic spectrum and far deeper than any known 20th century, 21st technologies are capable of. It also possesses. It's also possible, though, that through this eye, Cable is able to see the deployment of psionic energies as well as the less exotic spectra of electromagnetic energies.
And cybernetic restoration, through a combination of telekinesis, he's able to rearrange the atomic structure of matter. Cable is capable of rapidly repairing any damaged components of his body, as long as they're, mechanical. Teleportation, by body sliding, he can teleport or body slide anywhere, virtually anywhere. Gifted intelligence and master hand-to-hand combatant, or master combatant in general. He's a soldier.
So, I knew Cable was Haxed. I've forgotten how fucking Haxed Cable actually is. And yet you put him up against someone like Apocalypse. That also goes to show how freaking Haxed Apocalypse really is. So ultimately, who wins in this fight? Well, let's say through shenanigans, Cable travels back to maybe, I don't know, Trunks' timeline by mistake. Through dimensions and time travel, shenanigans. And, Trunks sees as another threat, and Cable's also despite he's diplomatic, he is also a war-torn soldier, so he has a tendency to shoot first, ask questions never. So he's like, "What year is this?" It's like, "I'm not telling you." It's like, "Fine." It's like, "You'll tell me." It's like, "I'm gonna get what I need out of you." And then they, go toe to toe with each other. Now, in a straight fisticuff hand-to-hand fight, Trunks is the better fighter. I think he's the better hand-to-hand fighter. Cable also keeps his firearm on call. He always has a firearm. He did actually have Captain America's shield for a while. And the Scimitar, I get it. Since he carries, he's always made use of the psychic focusing lance, which combines both his normal hammering telekinetic powers and telepathic capabilities to create a potent force blast. It's fascinating. So yeah, he'll bring his sword, hits Cable, does injure Cable, doesn't cut right through Cable, but does injure Cable. Cable's able to repair that, pulls out his lance, they'll go toe to toe again. I think the sword flies out of Trunks' hands, and then Trunks just blasts Cable point blank. He puts up his shield. Cable does go flying a bit, but overall he's fine. They go toe to toe for a while. Trunks goes to Super Saiyan and immediately throws another punch and decks Cable. Cable goes flying. Ugh. So he gets up and he's like, "All right, fine, you want to play that?" I was like, "Let's do this!" And then now Cable's dodging Trunks because he's using his precognition and starts getting a lot of solid hits, and then he's able to then he tries to actually go into his mind. Now, telekinetic wise, here's the thing: Dragon Ball Z does not delve a lot into mind control or psychic abilities that much. We do know there's mind reading. We like Babidi used possession. But his was magic based. We know there is telepathy involved, so people can communicate. King Kai uses it all the time. Spring Kai uses it. So we know Kami uses it. So we know that exists. But we never really see it played out more than oh hey, we can communicate mentally with each other, or hey, we have telepathy, blah 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 blah. We never see it played out more than that. So to bring in someone in a universe where that is rampant and on God level tiers is an interesting comparison. I think Trunks can stave off most of because remember, Cable can't make use of his full power most of the time. And if he does use his full power, the techno-organic virus does start to go into overdrive because it's been suppressed for a while. So he very rarely uses it to its full extent. I think Trunks would be able to stave off most of his minor mental abilities. So things like possess, he wouldn't be able to possess him. I don't think he'd be able to trap him in his own mind. Illusions, I think, would still work. Mind control wouldn't work. I don't think mind trap would work because one thing that a lot of these fighters are known for is a level of discipline. Mind alteration, alter the minds of others by force of will. I don't think that would work. Might be able to use some psionic blasts and astral projection and mental detection. So he might be able to actually physically hurt him mentally, attack his mind. And, Trunks might get blown back, and then he comes in, delivers another solid energy blast back at Trunks. Trunks powers up the Super Saiyan 2, grabs the sword, comes in again. Cable grabs, and then we're going with the belief that to alter molecular structure or something like that, or atomic structure, he has to touch something. Grabs the sword. Unfortunately, it does pretty much cut through his hand, but he is able to pretty much disintegrate at least that chunk of the blade. So the blade now has a nub, and he's got the other tip of the blade. And Trunks is shocked when he just saw it just cut straight through his hand, or disintegrate his blade. but he at least took off Cable's hand, which is starting to reinforce. So he comes in, lands a solid shot on Cable, or he tries to anyway, as Cable's like barely is able to get away. He's like, ugh! And then he comes in again, just he fires a weapon out, just bang, bang, bang. Bullets have been shown really not to actually work on the Z fighters that much. As long as they've been well trained, that bullets kind of just bounce off them. If they've been a little lax, though, with someone like Goku or Krillin with their training at points, it has been able to scuff them. Not like actually insert in them, but has scuffed them, like giving them a scratch. So Goku or Trunks just, it was like, and then blast, and then again blast and Buster Cannon blast Cable. Cable's not flying. At this point now, his arm is now like gone because he was trying to heal. He wasn't able to get the shield up entirely, so now his hand's kind of gone. It is repairing itself, and he's using some material to do it. But now Cable just really looks. It was a fine kid. And then Trunks now goes full power Super Saiyan Berserk, comes in, just I got you now, and then Cable grabs his arm. It's like, and basically it's kind of skeletal at this point. It's not fully reconstructed, but Cable just grabs Trunks' face like. Yeah, it's like, it's over, kid. Sorry. And then, basically, guess what he needs about the time? First off, really goes in depth, kind of lets his powers go rampant a little bit, just to basically increases the level of his powers work, does get some information he needs, like what time period, and then just dusts his head, dusts Trunks' head, and then, of course, falls like a like, sorry, kid. Maybe you'll find some peace in the next life. And then he just gets out of there. His arm's still repairing and all that, and walks out of there. So why does Cable win this fight? Because ultimately, if you're talking about the amount of actual power, like destructive capabilities, Trunks is the more destructive. He's the better fighter. He has just the better capable power in terms of pure destructive energy than Cable does. But Cable has gone up against Apocalypse multiple times. He's gone up against Omega level, which is like top tier threats in the Marvel Universe, at least on the planet, for mutants and stuff like that, multiple times and come on top. He's considered to be among the strongest telepaths. He has the ability to alter or just disintegrate things. So when you have a launch, and he's also a trained soldier. He's also not not weak. That's not right. He's also not too shabby in the hand-to-hand combat area. So while he's not, I think, as proficient as Trunks is in that field, he'd be able to hold his own. He has the ability to see into the future, at least a few seconds to a few minutes. So he would be able to see Trunks' moves coming on some level, which would give him a level of reaction time and counterattack. Then you factor in when he really has to pump up his psychic abilities that they would affect Trunks. Then it's just a matter of honestly dishing out the final blow. Even if he didn't get a headshot, I think Trunks would maybe grab him and then he would just disintegrate Trunks' arm, which again he would then take advantage, blast Trunks, and then do the disintegration or alteration, whatever. So I do think Cable wins this overall. How often? Ooh. Because I think there's a real scenario where Trunks could just full-on power obliterate him. Like, if he went on full power and just blast him straight out, I do think, because that he would have the ability to destroy a planet easy, that he would destroy, that he would kill Cable. He does also, side note, know the Gallic gun, because his dad knows it, and he learned it from his dad, probably. I do think that Cable does win about 80, maybe even 85% of the time, but Trunks can pull out a win if he gets a lucky shot with the blade. Well, not even a lucky shot. If he just gets a kill shot with the blade, but takes off his head. And Trunks is faster than Cable, too. Overall, Trunks is much faster than Cable. So there is the very likelihood that the fight could end in the first round where Trunks comes and moves fast enough and just takes Cable's head off. Likelihood of that, though, isn't that great, because I think Trunks would first maybe try to explore the fight a little bit, try to figure out what's going on. Cable, and that's how it would proceed from there. So I think Cable wins about 85. I think 85 is the right amount I'd go with. 85% of the time you're going to get Cable winning the fight, but I think Trunks could win 15% of the time. What do you think, though? You think Trunks wins the majority? You think Cable wins more than I made it out, less than I made it out, closer or farther than you think it is, or think that I made it out? Put in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. Do a review of it at some point. And ideas for who would win. Star Wars, Super Hero, Magic, what if. Anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you folks next time.